Sometimes you can just do something simple outside. You don't have to even have more than 10 or 15 minutes, but going outside and just listening to the sounds of dusk, listening to a metal scoop in the bag of, this is PermaTill. I like it as well, it's good because it's like these little slate pieces and they are porous. So there's a lot of benefit to these. Number one, if you use them as a mulch on potted plants, just, for a clean look, or just specifically, say you have like, potted plants in an area and you get a lot of rain. And then when you come out after that, it's just like this mud splatter everywhere. And if you're like me, that just drives you nuts. But the PermaTill has a way of keeping it looking tidy, so you don't have that mud splatter after it rains. But because it is porous, it allows the rain to penetrate down, into the soil of the potted plants and do its thing. But also because they are little slate pieces, unlike pea gravel that's more rounded, these have more flat edges, so they don't move around. So it makes it really good for making little pathways and walkways in areas in your backyard or front yard or wherever. In fact, you probably recognize it from a lot of garden centers where you go and you're walking around outside, and this is the stuff that they often have down. It also is just really good for aerating your soil. So, especially if you have like clay soil, you want to kind of mix this in, maybe with some backfill if you're just planting maybe some shrubs or perennials, and your soil is still kind of very heavy clay and not very well aerated. You can use this mixed in with whatever it is. I mean, even with your potted plants, mix this in and it creates aeration. So it's just a really good thing to have on hand. I buy it you can get it at your garden center. By the bagfuls, of course. I think you can even go to like landscape yards and buy even larger quantities if you're really going to go for it. But right now, as you can see, I'm using it in these little sugar skull things that I got another year, a couple years back. They don't have a hole in them, so when I bought them, they had like these little succulents in their little plastic pots. Those have since gone, but I kept, of course, these little guys, and I really wanted to do something low maintenance and something that once the Halloween season passed, I could just easily transfer into something else inside the house. So I went to Lowe's today, got these air plants, and I really like, first of all, I can get them a lot of places, but these were they were $3.98 a piece. So I was like, well, whatever I get, I need to get 4 of, so it can't be anything too expensive. And I thought this was a pretty good deal to get 4 of these. And like I said, when Halloween passes, I'm just going to bring these guys in and find some new creative thing to do with them inside the house. But this is like a nice simple activity to where I don't even really have to get any dirt out, don't have to get my garden gloves on. Still want to enjoy the last hour of daylight. So when I went to Lowe's earlier, it's just really, really nice outside. Like the sun was just right. And I was like one of the only people out there. It was just therapeutic, just walking through the garden center. All the people that work there are just so nice, honestly. I mean, it's like every time I go there, I always have an interaction, at least one interaction with someone that works there that just really easy and makes me feel good about going there. So today it was just perfect, like sunny, 72 degrees. And so now that I'm home, it's still a little bit of daylight. Not quite time to feed the dogs, not quite time to feed myself. I believe it's going to be rainy tomorrow, so I wasn't about to let any of the daylight of today go to waste. And I just wanted to remind you that sometimes, you know, you think I'm not a plant person or can't keep anything alive. Well, I get that, but my recommendation for anything, but especially plants, is to start where you are. It's going to be different for everybody, but I hope to kind of revisit that theme in like a little series, a little start where you are series, because honestly, that was the pep talk I had to give myself with this channel. Thinking like, you know, I'm not really like, I've never been big on like video content, believe it or not. Despite me starting this YouTube channel, I've always been of like the written form plus pictures or something, but you gotta start where you are and not be afraid to make mistakes. Don't get caught up on whatever your idea of perfection is, because honestly, that itself is fleeting and fluid. Your idea of perfection today is probably not going to be the same as it is in a year from now. So start where you are. And, you know, maybe for you that will be cuttings, which we'll visit that, you know, in some future videos. For you, it might be just some indoor simple plants like pothos or one of those really hard to kill plants. And then maybe it's an air plant for you. Hope you take care of yourselves, and remember, start where you are.